said, who are you? Who are you? I am that I am. So whenever we say I am, what are you saying after that? Powerful affirmations, or I am tired, I am lacking, I am. So whatever you say, that's what you are. I am that I am. So good evening and welcome to Wednesday's Wisdom Practicing. Practicing, practicing, practicing the presence. My name is Judy Chapman, and I'm one of the assistant ministers here at the center. And I'm delighted that you decided to spend the evening here with us. We are a center that is all inclusive. We believe in diversity and equality. And we believe and we know that every person is on their own spiritual path. So whatever you did yesterday, I don't care. Whatever you do tomorrow really doesn't matter. It's what's happening right here in this moment of now, that is where the power of God is. I have a great service for you tonight with a wonderful, wonderful speaker. I'm always delighted to hear. We start each evening with a affirmative prayer. So before that, we're going to chant, and then Dave Freeman um, is our practitioner for the evening. So he will come and open our service after our chant.
Remember, there is one perfect essence, one energy, one life, one love. That one perfect essence is the essence of every single person in this room. Remember that and sit in that for just a second. Remember, say this to yourself: God is, I am. And in this perfection, we are blessed to be here this evening with each other, with the oneness, as ourselves, as one. Embracing the feeling, listening to the wise words of Reverend Arpad, knowing that we are here for a reason, and getting all that we need to get and more, because we are one with the ever-expanding one. And it is a beautiful, perfect blessing, knowing that that is our experience here today. I'm grateful. I know that I release these words into the place that they came, back to the oneness, knowing that it is everybody's experience, and we are all the better for it. And so it is. Good evening. Judy asked me to share a demonstration. I have one. I was working with a friend of mine who was injured and ended up trying to live a regular life, walking like a dissa, And there was we treated on this, we tried to heal, together. And then there was these events throughout the day that did not allow them to hike, did not allow them to walk. They tried really, really hard. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to do these hikes. But, the map was wrong, and then the car ran out of gas, and then it rained, and all of these things happened. They didn't get to hike, did not walk. Next day, the leg was fine. The universe works in strange, wild, wonderful, mysterious ways. And that's my demonstration for this week. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. I know you're going to do something on the piano. Do you want to do it now, or do you want to do it later, or when would you like to do it? Just before you speak. All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you for your affirmative prayer. As we know, prayer is one of the most powerful spiritual tools that we have in our spiritual toolbox. And I like to remind us, because we chanted, I am remembering, I'd like to remind us that we are spiritual beings. We're having this great human experience, but we can never be more spiritual than we are in this moment, because it's who we are. We're spirit. We're spirit. So I don't care if you go to 10 more retreats, or listen to 50 more talks, or even take classes for the rest of your life. You will never be more spiritual than you are in this moment. What the classes and the talks and the retreats and all that does, it reminds us and uncovers and discovers and recovers what we have forgotten. So we forget who we are sometimes. We get steeped in our human experience. Maybe I'm just talking to myself. I don't know. But that's what I feel. I get steeped in all my human experiences, And I have to remind myself, I'm as spiritual as I ever be in this moment. So tonight's all about being powerful. So I wanted to read a little bit to you and share a little bit to you what Dr. Ernest Holmes, who is the founder of The Science of Mind and the author of the textbook, what he says about our power and who we are. He says there is limitless power at our disposal. I have to let that sink in. I forget how powerful we are. So who can tell me what subjective mind is? All you who have been in classes. Anyone? I'm gonna walk around and put this microphone in somebody's subjective mind.
It's the law. It's the law.
How is it different than objective mind?
Responding mind. It's the responder.
It's the responder. It's the subjective, the subconscious mind. Thank you, Reverend Patty, for responding. And I'm looking out here, and I know almost every single one of you have been in class before. You all know this stuff. You all know what subjective mind. It's the impersonal power. It's the medium. It's where the well. Let me just tell you what Ernest Holmes says. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. For our thoughts go into a medium, which is the subjective mind, that is infinite in its ability to do and to be. Humans, by thinking, can bring into their experience whatsoever you desire. If you think correctly and become a living embodiment of your thoughts. This is not done by holding thoughts for yourself or someone else. It's done by knowing the truth, and that truth is a capital T, which is spirit, and it sets you free. There is one mental law in the universe, and where we use it, it becomes our law because we have individualized it. So the subjective mind, we have a subjective mind, and everything we think is in that subjective mind. And it goes, and there's only one mind, as Dave so beautifully said in his opening affirmative prayer. There's only one. So our subjective mind, individualized, is the universal subjective mind. So whatever we put in, it creates. It says, yes, my beloved. If you say, I'm really going to have a lousy day today. It's raining outside, and I just know that I'm going to be late for work. Yes, my beloved. Subjective mind says, yes, it is impersonal. That's why when we wake up in the morning, that's when we do our spiritual practices. We practice, we practice, we practice. We are powerful. Dr. Ernest Holmes said there's a power in the universe greater than us all, available to us all, and we have the ability to use it at every moment. I love that. That's one of my favorite quotes from Dr. Ernest Holmes. So on that note, I'm going to introduce Reverend Arpad Petrass, who is speaking to us, Power Beyond Measure. Reverend Arpad.
Hello, hello. One of the nice things about having Dave Friedman here as a practitioner is that I get to ask him to play music. So Dave is going to play us a little ditty. Doesn't he have nice ditties? And I could say that comfortably in public. So Dave, would you mind playing your little ditty for us? Thank you. Well, make it up. I do it every day. powerful beyond measure. Not bad for just making it up, huh? What do you think, huh? All right. So when I was here the last time, I decided I was going to tell a joke. And if you were here the last time, you will know that that joke failed miserably. It did not get one laugh, and it just like fell dead. And I said, oh, I got to work on this. And then I said, I'm not going to do another joke again. I will not do a joke during my talks because I don't do jokes. But then there's another part of me that says, oh, come on, give him a lame joke. Come on. So I'm going to try round 2. We'll see how it goes. So there's hundreds of people, and they're all hanging around the pearly gate. It's equally divided between men and women. Okay? And St. Peter comes out and looks at everybody and says, okay, guys, listen up. You need to make 2 lines. If the head of your household is a woman, go to the right. If the head of the household is a man, stand to the left. And now start queuing up. So everybody starts queuing up and they start going in line. And before you realize it, everybody but one person, one man, was on the right-hand side. So St. Peter goes down with a big smile on his face and he goes, congratulations, sir. What's your secret? How do you get to be the head of the household? He goes, well, I don't know. My wife told me to get over here. You laughed. Yay. Okay, so what's this talk about? What am I talking about tonight? Powerful beyond measure. This talk is about being the best you that you can be. It's about finding your life purpose. It's about finding out why you're not. All in 30 minutes or less, 20 minutes or less, whatever it is. Now, what started all this is I read a quote. I had this quote for a while. It's from Marianne Williamson. I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to read it to you slowly, and I want you to think about it because this is what started the conversation in my head. It says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. We are liberated from our own fear. Our presence automatically liberates others. Wow, wow, wow. That is a bunch of cool stuff. It's an example of so much that we're going to talk about today. Because I'm going to say some things to you first. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. You're outstanding. You're powerful. You're strong. You're unique. You're rich. You're prosperous. You're abundant. You are healthy. You are magnificent. You are fat. You are short. You are tall. You are skinny. You are a gem. You are a jewel. You are magical. You are divine. You're holy. You're sacred. You're special. You are you. You are the Alpha, the Omega. You are the sun. You are the moon. You are you. Did everybody believe everything I said? Did anybody believe some of what I said? Hmm? Yeah, that sounds like a logical, rational answer to me. That does not sound like a heartfelt answer. But that is the truth of it. And what starts to happen in our lives, what are we? We are spiritual beings, yes, having a human experience. We've heard that a million times. But we're also divinity in disguise. Look at it differently. Look at it from a different set of eyes. You are divinity in disguise. You are having a human experience in a human plane. And when you're in a human plane, things happen. They're physical. They're physical manifestations to be human. Because if we were all energy and all consciousness, would we need to be here? I think not. So what happens is a spiritual amnesia begins to develop, and it usually starts very slowly. It starts like, I don't feel like meditating today, okay? Or maybe you didn't get the promotion you were hoping for. And then maybe you lost your job. And then maybe I don't have any more money in the bank. And maybe something happened to your hip, and now you have physical pain. And it's a slow erosion of our belief in who we are. Does that make sense? You see it? Because I know what it feels like to be in the zone. I know what it feels like to be happy. I know what it feels like to be on task and on target. And I also know when I'm out of alignment with myself. When I am out of alignment, my life does not go so well. Anybody else have that experience? This doesn't seem to go the way you think it should go. So you seem to create these bigger and bigger and bigger problems. And the problems take over. Because why? Because we think our ego, we think that we are special. Well, we are special. We are very special. But we can't do anything alone. There are millions and billions and trillions of particles in the universe. Untapped, unmanifested consciousness. If you want to ever define God, think of God as a particle of consciousness. Untapped, unformed, unexpressed, unmanifested. And what is your job? To be the manifestator, to be the creator of your consciousness. God is the glue that holds it all together. So, when we begin to make our problems so big, what happens to our belief in a higher power, in a higher consciousness? God becomes very small. We need to make our God bigger so our problems become smaller. Okay? There's an interesting story I was reading, and it's about this father who's watching his son. His son is playing with a telescope. He's holding it backwards. He's looking through the other end. And his dad goes, son, you got it all backwards. Why are you holding it? You can't see clearly. He says, well, Dad, when I look through this telescope and I look at that bully across the street that's bothering me, he's really small. And I can deal with him. So that's what your belief in spirit does. It makes your problems small. You know, that we have many words for, like Marianne Williamson says, God. And I'm okay with that word. Are you guys okay with that word? Because it doesn't matter what you call that consciousness, but you have to call it something. You have to believe in something. You have to believe that there is, number one, a higher power, higher consciousness greater than yourself. Greater than yourself. And what you call it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's Buddha, Krishna, Mother Earth, Father Sky, nature. It doesn't matter. But it has to be relevant to you. So that higher power has to be relevant to you. That higher power is that untapped conscious potential that is waiting to be formed. The chairs that you are sitting on are what? Do you believe that this was an idea first? Everything in human form was an idea first. Unmanifested energy, uncreated energy until somebody had an idea. Dave played music. He had an idea, but he didn't know what it was until it came out. And it just happened. It was unconscious creation. So for us to move to the first level, we have to, number one, realize there's a higher power greater than ourselves, and that we are part of that divine connection. We are part of those little billions of particles, those unmanifested ideas. And then we have to choose. We have to choose what we intend. Our intentions are everything. Because without intentions, what does our teaching tell us? The universe is very literal. 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 What you believe to be true shows up. Not what you say, not what you do. It's literal. It reminds me of this story I've told a million times, but I love it a million times. It's about a teenage girl who was visualizing a brand new convertible, a red convertible. She could see this convertible. She can see the color. She could see the color of the seats. She could see the line of the car. She can see it in front of her house. She got everything she wanted in her head, and she was trying, and she believed. She believed she was going to get that convertible. And one day she jumps out of bed, looks out, goes to the window, looks out the window, and there is that beautiful red convertible in her neighbor's front yard. Not in her front yard, because she missed a step. She thought that she could totally control the outcome. Okay? She had the intention, but she didn't do one thing. She forgot to let God do the God thing, which is to bring you what you desire in the best possible way for you. So the second thing is to let go of attachment to that what you want. Be clear in what you want. And this is why sometimes I think Spirit has a sense of humor. But then let go of what you want. Be detached from the outcome. You know how hard that is? That's a trick. I swear it's a trick that God's playing on us. Be detached. How many get attached to their outcomes? Oh, come on. If every hand is not up, you're all lying yourselves. At some point in your life, I am sure there was something you wanted that didn't show up in the way you thought it was going to show up, because we're still attached to how it should show up. And that lies the problem. And number 3 is, what is your life purpose? What is your dream? What is your passion? What do you want or need or do better than anyone else in the planet? Everyone here in this room is so unique. If we had 10,000 people in this room right now and they all had the same intention, it would not look the same, would it? It would all be different, because we are individualized expressions of the one consciousness, the one energy. Here's a little trick. Don't have a throat lounger before you speak. Whoa, does that do weird things in your mouth? Woo! Anyway, we are all connected to that one consciousness. Okay? So what is your life purpose? Why are you here? And I think we've all heard that at some point in our lives. Why are we here? What is your life purpose? And the moment you start answering that question, why am I here? What am I here to do? Your life will change. I promise you, your life will change, because you will start making decisions that are clear, that are focused, that are purposeful, because of your joy and your passion and because of your uniqueness. Now, I realize something In the beginning, I had a life purpose, and I lived it. So my first life purpose was to be in entertainment, to be a designer. So theater manifested into my life. I had no idea. I didn't know anything about theater. But for 20 years, I've been, well, actually 40, but for 45 maybe. But for the first 20 years, I was a scenic and lighting design in entertainment. I would do dance and opera and ballet and all that, musicals and all that kind of stuff. And I was really happy doing that. And then I wasn't. And then my next purpose came along to be a businessman. So for 10 years, I was a businessman. And I was incredibly successful and the biggest failure you've ever seen. Because I failed. I have done everything wrong in business because it just was. And then I had to move on to something else. And then I became a minister. Now, for the ministers in this room, I think I'm going to be clear on this. Nobody wants to start out being a minister. It's not in your agenda. It's not something you grow up to be. It just happens. But I know that I had a yearning, I had a desire for more spiritual truth and wisdom. So where do we wind up? We wind up in Capistrano Valley, or whatever we were called back then, on the other side of the tracks. Okay? And I remember taking Dr. Jackie's first Science of Mind class. Now, she had a little habit where after you took the class, you graduated, and then you would come up on a Sunday and you would get your little graduation certificate. And on that Sunday, they would pick someone from the class to speak about the class, to represent the class. Well, I was very clear. I knew who exactly that most articulate, intelligent, most gifted person in my class was, and I made my vote. You know what? The son of a guns, they picked me. Unanimously, the class picked me. That's when I had low self-confidence, no self-esteem, and for me to get in front of a bunch of people and talk was scarier than hell. But I did. And why? Because I learned to say yes. When you're going along this road, you have to learn to say yes to things that are deep within you. I said yes to another class. And I said yes to another class. And I said yes to another class. And before I realized, oh, well, let's be a practitioner. Okay, I could do that. And I got to share this story because it's a funny story. In the Catholic Church, you need 2 miracles to become a saint. 2. Okay? Takes years, training, demonstrations. So I'm in the practitioner class, and my wife says to me, let me get this straight. The church wants 2 miracles, and they're asking you for 3? I go, yeah. They want me 3 demonstrations so I could be a practitioner. And I got them. And now there is a 4th passion in my life, which is photography. I'd rather be doing photography better and more, anywhere, anytime, any place, because that's my latest gift. And what I didn't realize is when I 20, 30, 45, if we're stopped there, 45 years ago, is you don't just have one life purpose. Your life purpose changes. It changes and evolves with you. And what I realized just last week is every one of those life purposes that I had prepared me for the next one and prepared me for the next one. And I don't know where I'm going, folks, and you don't know either. But there is still a dream and a passion left inside of you that is unfulfilled, that needs attention, that needs energy, that needs clarity, that needs releasing and detachment from what you think to be true. And I know that, but I don't know what it is for you. But I know we all have it still. Until the day we die, we're still going to have it. So we're going to get to practice what that could possibly be tonight. We are going to do a meditation. We're going to do a guided meditation. And what I want you to do in this guided meditation is just let come up whatever needs to come up. A word, a thought, an idea, an experience, a feeling. And if you have a life purpose that is strong and powerful and it is current, then go with that one. But be open to having another one or a new one or a different one, because we're not done creating. We are not done manifesting. We are not done taking the universal glue of spirit and making things manifest in our lives. So you with me? You ready? Okay, Mr. Dave, I'm sorry, but you don't get to play this one. I mean, you get to play. Well, maybe you will. So if the music stops, Dave is off, and that's okay. Just take a deep breath and just exhale. And just relax. Breathe in and just exhale and relax one more time. And just shake your head a little bit or roll your head. Move your shoulders. And let your arms get heavy and just feel all that heaviness just traveling down through your legs and into your feet. Now in your mind's eye, just look up. As you begin to rise, leaving your heavy body below. And just imagine leaving this room and being outside this building, looking down, forever going higher, forever going higher. As you look down, you see this tiny little speck that was once this building. As you look around and you realize that, wow, I'm up in the heavens. Huh, who knew? It's quiet. It's gentle. And off in the distance comes the most angelic looking being. And they extend their hand. And as you take it, they say, I have been waiting for you. My holy, my beloved, my sacred. And together you two just float off through time and space. You begin to go lower to a very sacred place, somewhere in the middle of time. And you are gently glided down. And as your feet touch the warm sands of consciousness, another being filled with love and wisdom and joy and truth says, follow me. We too have been waiting for you. As you walk, you can smell the flowers, hear the rush of the water below, the sound of the birds, the sound of peace, the feeling of love, the feeling of safety. You are brought to this most magical, spectacular cave. And as you look about, there are movies playing of your life everywhere. Everything you've done that was wonderful, and everything that you've done where you struggled. All of your joys are there. And off in the right-hand corner, yes, the right-hand corner, there are two screens. They're blank. They're empty. There's nothing on them. And as you approach, you hear a voice that says, "What is your purpose? Why are you here? What do you still need to do?" Answer that question. Say yes. Say I will. And say I must. And if you can, say thank you to your spirit. Thank you for whatever I have received or seen or experienced. Bring back with you that feeling, that dream, that intention, and return with that special being. Return back through time and space. Return to this solar system, this planet, this state, into this very room. And when you are ready, on the count of 3, please open your eyes and be fully awake, alert, and present. 1, 2, could have kept on going. Did anybody get anything? Did anybody feel anything? Did anybody find resistance? Did anybody feel like sharing? Yes.
Intention uh, when she was talking about Ernest Holmes' piece, which was really exactly what you were talking about as well. And so for me, in the meditation, it always comes to me every day to wake up and do what Spirit would have me to do. And that is to be. And I think that's what Ernest Holmes was talking about. And I think that's what your opening statements were about as well. And so that's what came to me.
To be. To be the best you. To be who you are every time, every moment, even when it's bad, even when it's difficult, even when it's challenging. We still get to be us. We still get to be that unique us because everything will pass. Everything will change. Everything will be made new and manifested all over again. And if we let our problems be bigger than our God, that's where we're going to stay. We're going to get stuck. We're going to feel victims. We're going to feel like life is doing something to us as opposed to us doing something to life. Anybody else want to share anything?
It was a great trip out into the universe. That was really fun. And I really didn't want to come back.
Anybody else? We have one back there.
I'm kind of a fragmented person, and I feel like a pachanga ball a lot of times, but you know what? It's really me. And I think I'm perfect as a pachanga ball, and I have so many ideas drifting around that help that these kinds of guided imagery, processes are good for me, especially because I know that the path will come, but sometimes I get stuck in
The minutia.
the minutia of life. And
That's right. The minutia sucks you
animals
down.
and things.
I was talking to Reverend Patty, and we were talking about something about the website, and just the thought of having to do this minutia just drove my head crazy. Because we are more than that. And the person who loves the minutia is the one that should do the task. And if that's what you're good at, minutia, you go for it. But if you think you're somebody else or you're different, then be true to yourself. Anyone else? Oh, come on, one more. There's going to be somebody. Clarity.
Clarity. It's like floating and light and clarity. Beautiful.
So how does it make you feel when you are clear? How does the world look to you? How does your insides feel when you are clear? You're in a zone talking. So this is just a little short exercise, and it's hard to get deep into the meditation. But sometimes if you just declare and say out loud to the universe, now, I need you now. I need something now. I need a message now. I need inspiration now. And then be detached from the outcome. It will always come. Now is a relative thing, but it will always come when you need it. So the now becomes now for real. And it means something to you. So that's all I got. Namaste. Oh. I promised you a gift. I have a gift. So in this bag is a bunch of bookmarks that came to my old center, and it's practitioners or ministers or guest speakers or special people that had a quote. We wrote up the quote and we made a bookmark around it. So I always like to play the game. Pick out the one that you think is calling you, and if you don't like it, you can change it later. So here's your gift.
Pass it around. Let's give him another hand. Thank you, Reverend Arpad. I know what question I'm going to be asking myself when I go into meditation and prayer this week. What am I here to do, and what is my purpose? I got kind of clear, but sometimes it takes a little time. Thank you very much. I know that each one of us gleaned wisdom from the words that you spoke and the wisdom that you shared with us. Thank you. Really wonderful. Now it's time for our offering, and our offertory will be up on the screen. And Harry, would you mind coming up and bless those baskets? So as we take our gift in our hand, we feel that energy, that spirit, that life that's in our gift, because it's all God and nothing else. So we go within knowing the truth. The truth is that we are creative, we are divine, and we are blessed. And we're grateful for the opportunity to be here tonight, to hear the wisdom given to us by Reverend Arpad. We are here to be who we are at all times. So please say with me, my offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply, and it symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply. Thank you. Did we have it on the screen? Oh, we did. Okay. I just didn't hear anybody but myself. Because there I am. Oh, I heard you. Yes. Okay. So let us come and get in a circle, and we're going to release and let go and sing that song. And then Reverend Arpad will pray us out.